training-wise, what do you want to learn how to do?
Let's see. I made up some notes here. I haven't really worked, like, I guess I'm still wrapping on, shame on me, but local bits and words. I started out just with the impression that I was going to be assigning functions to Modbus registers. And now I'm realizing there's so much more that can be done with local bits and words, and starting to understand from some videos that I can store information or something, like maybe data logging, I can store in local bits, and as long as they're not the reserved ones. If I wasn't on this session, I would keep on investigating and learn on my own, but since you're here, it would help. The other thing is just macros. Well, I seem I'm paralyzed right now without macros.
Okay. Well, let's go through our memory map real quick, okay? So over here you can see our address grid over here. And you probably already know all this. You can change between bit and word data. You can choose either one of your controllers, or in this case we're looking at local. And station number, just leave that always default. Here are the address types, your bit addresses. You've got LBs, they're just straight non-retentive bit addresses, okay?
Okay.
Then you've got RW bits, and that is using RW, those are retentive word registers that I'll show you in a minute. But that is reading a bit value out of those retentive word registers. So any retentive bits that I need to use, I will always address it to an RW bit. RWA is just some more memory that's retentive, and it's used for some other things that here and there. Your LW bit, LWs are non-retentive words, local memory. There you go, that's our bit addresses. Now we go over to our word addresses. LW, they're volatile or non-retentive word addresses. And you can see here if they're used, they're red. RW, these are retentive words. These are the ones that I use mostly when I want something to be retentive. And then you can also do a bit value of that. And if they're used, they'll be red. And if it's just used for a bit, it'll be yellow. If there's just bits out of it used and not the whole word, it will be yellow. Okay?
Okay.
And then, let's see. And then any address you select, it will show you down below here where it's used in your project. Like right here, it shows this is used in Windows 30.
Okay, so do you use, like, I haven't really made a lot of use of this address mapping, but do you use this on a common basis, regular basis?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Huh. Because let's say that you were talking about macros. Well, you might, macro might execute every time they hit a button, but it may do something based off of a value that you store. So I would store those values in retentive registers and then pull those values out of the macro to go with whatever the new data was when they hit the button, or whatever.
So this helps you locate those.
Yes, and then also when you do your drivers, I don't know what you've used. 4X,
4X.
double.
Only. I've never used
4X?
doubles yet. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, wherever they're used, they'll be red here. But the good, cool thing about this is, you can go through and you can look at these and, well, you know that there is no zero. There's no address there. But so you can find your address that you want to use, and then, boom, it tells you right here how to address it in your tags or in your direct addressing of your objects. So it's a good tool, and no matter what driver it is you're using, it will map that out for you so you don't make addressing mistakes. So, so you're not off by a word or something like that, get confused.
Right,
So
gotcha.
that's, I use that all the time. Yep.
But to me, it seems, I think in this local HMI is where I could really make use, because then I can see, again, like what's available, what's already used.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that way you're not overlapping stuff in your project. Yep.
Okay. I had kind of looked at it, but wasn't sure what I should actually do with it. How to make use of it.
Right.
Another thing is indexes. So let's say when I tried to do the pop-up window, I think if you look at the indirect windows, number 10.
And then you got an indirect window?
Yeah, I think those white rectangles at the bottom are the indirect windows. I think click on one, see what that is. So what I was hoping would happen is when that address, 4343, reads 149, it would pop up window 15. So I wasn't sure how to use this window offset or the register, and I thought it meant 149 minus 15 equals 134, so I put a window offset of 134. And if you look at the address, it says
why are you
IDX
doing indexes here?
Well, that's my other question. I don't know what that is. And I thought...
Yeah, you don't even want to use that there. That's probably, you're not even getting good data.
Yeah, I have no idea what it was, but what I was trying to do is, how do I assign that 145 is anywhere involved in this? Like, 149 is my mapping for address 4343, but I don't know when it reads that mapping of 149, it should pop up the indirect window. But maybe I just can't do it that way.
All right.
I'm experimenting a lot, that's for sure.
No problem. All right. So what I'm going to do right here is, let me find some free addresses. All right. And then embedded windows. And I'm just going to do a window offset of 10 here. And I'm going to do something else here. Auto adjust window size from there. And I'm going to make sure that this numeric thing's on top. And I'm going to run an offline simulation. See what I did here. All right, and then here I'm going to do a numeric entry. Just leave it at LW0. And a indirect window, LW0, offset of 10. Oh yeah, wanted that to auto size. So that means it'll auto size from this corner out. So
Okay.
that means this corner here will always be where it's at. So, all right?
Okay. Yep.
So as long as that's 0, it will not show anything, okay?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I'm going to put 1 in here. And we've got an offset of 10, so that's going to show window 11, all right?
Oh, okay.
Offset of 10, that's going to show window 12.
Yeah. So is it possible for me to put a 149 in that box from address 4343?
Yes. Yeah, so if you wanted to, so what window do you want to display?
Well, I guess here's the thing. The problem is, I want to only display, let's say, let's say 15, 1.5. And if I got a 149, I would want it to display a certain window, but I think
Well,
what if
I
it
would
says,
do this. So I'm going to make this read from LW10.
uh,
All right. And I'll email you this project, all right?
okay,
And then I'm going to make a macro. I'm going to call it window offset. And I'm going to declare some short objects here. And I'm going to call this first one input. And I'm going to call this one offset. I may not use these. I may be wrong here. We'll figure it out as we go. And then I'm going to do output. And I'm going to do, so what page, what value do you want to go to what page?
okay. And I only want when 149 shows up, and no other value can do anything. 149 should go to page 15.
Okay, so if input equals 149, then output equals what page?
1.5, 15.
15?
Yes.
Now, you can make this cycle just whenever we, we'll just missed the key there. We can make this cycle just whenever we hit the button or whatever, but so for right now, I'm going to make it cycle all the time. So what we want to do then, we need to get our input value. So I'm going to use our handy little thing here, that little code generator. That's what I call it. Oh, we need a get data.
Get data.
Yep, and input, and we want to get that from LW0. And then we want to do a set data. And we want to write output to LW10. And I'm just going to let it cycle. periodically. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry, I did that wrong. Look what I did wrong here.
Oh, I see. You need up and down.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah, yep. Well, shifted gears in the middle of the thing. There we go.
There you go.
Oh,
okay, cool.
there you go. Yep.
So, can we go back to your macro?
Yes.
Just saying that what you just did is, I think, going to help me in just that one macro will help me a lot of places. So, what I'm looking at here is I got the input. That's for get data. We're going to get it from there. So, in my case, I'd put from the Watlow PM controller.
Correct. Yes.
And then, LW would be like my 4363, I guess, or 4X 4363, or 4343. My register.
Yes. Yeah. You drill to your address. So when you do your get data here,
yeah,
you'll have a choice here. Your read address.
Yeah, okay.
You'll have your driver, and then you can just enter your address right there.
All right.
All right.
And then when I'm looking at on your macro, I'm seeing a 0 and a 1, and then at the bottom I see a 10 and a 1.
Okay. So this 0 is the address. This is the the register type. You know, LW, and that could be RW. You know,
so that's
remember
where
we
I
had
might
RW.
put like
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be like show up 0x or 4x. And then here is the address right here.
Okay.
And then this is the read length, how many registers you want to read.
Okay.
We didn't use offset, so I can show you this. You could do something like this if you wanted. You could make this an array by putting a value in brackets. So if I were to do, so if I were to do this, well, I would need that much of it. Okay, so this is the starting address where you want to fill the array at from the data you get, okay? So if you want to start at 0 at the beginning, which I do in this case, then I put a 0 there. And then I could do a read length up to 20 registers, okay? And see, that doesn't error. Now, let's say if I wanted to start filling it at the 10th register, you know, so it would be 0, 0, 0 all the way from 0 to 9, and then register 10. I want to start filling my data. You see, I get an error here because I'm reading more registers than will fit there.
Well,
so
you mean out of 16?
10,
you mean with 16 being the max? Is that why?
No.
Or what?
No. You can make the array as big as you want. I could do 200. And you could read 200 registers in a row if you wanted. So let's say that you had to read, say, 4x1 and 4x2 and 4x3. Then you would do an array of 3 and do it all in one read. See what I'm saying?
I see. Yeah, I think I do.
You could speed your macro up quite a bit that way. But that don't get hung up on that right now. I was just showing you what you could do. Yeah. So I'm going to email you this project too, so you'll have what we worked on.
Okay. I'm going to try it with my own thing here, and I guess I'll do what, like we talked about, I'll just copy one page at a time to a brand new project and see when I start having a problem.
Let me show you one way you can do that, okay? You go in and make you a new project, all right? And then and when you add your drivers, make sure you name them exactly the same as they're named in your other project, all right?
Okay.
Word for word up here in the name, all right? Character for character, make sure they're exactly the same. All right, and then what you want to do is go to the Home tab and window copy, correct. Then you can navigate to your old project.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can navigate to it, and then the source. If you want to bring in one window at a time, you make sure that these are both the same window, and then destination's where you want to land at. So, and then be sure when you're doing from another project, you'll have other options to bring in macros and stuff like that. All right.
Okay.
You don't want to do that. You make sure all that's unchecked. That's an easy way you can bring it in, or you can just have them both open and copy and paste. But the main thing is that you name the drivers identically, and that way you won't have conflict when you can pilot. And also, if they're incorrectly named, it will give them a local address, and it'll just readdress everything for you and screw that up. So you don't want that to happen.
Right.